Hello, it's Miss Ann at the Zula B. Wiley Public Library, and this is our kindergarten through second grade read-along. I'm very pleased to be able to share with you today Strega Nona's Harvest by Tomie dePaola. And boys and girls, we have these beautiful orange bags right here at the library. If you haven't grabbed yours yet, please come on down. Lots of fun things, and this book is super. If you have your book, please open it so that we can read it together. It was spring, and all the snow had melted, the rich earth beginning to warm. Strega Nona pulled out a small wooden box that had been hidden away in the dark cupboard all winter. "Ah," she said, as she took out small packets of seeds she had saved from last year's garden. "Qui siete, I amici piccoli. Here you are, my little friends." "Why were all those seeds in the dark, Strega Nona?" Big Anthony asked. "Oh, mio caro, my dear," Strega Nona answered. "They had to rest, just like you do, so they will be able to do their job when we plant them in the garden." "When will we plant them, Strega Nona?" Bambolona asked. "When la luna, the moon, tells us, Bambolona. Then we will plant each kind of seed carefully in the right place. After all, we can't just throw seeds into the ground in a big pile. A garden must be orderly, so it is easy to pick the vegetables." Did you know that? That you can wait for signs of the moon to let you know when to plant? Now, let me look at mi libro di giardino, garden book, to see what we did last year. Every year, Strega Nona wrote down in her book what she planted, when and where. She never put the same vegetables in the same spot. Why do you think she does that? "We have to move them around," she told her young helpers, "so the soil will stay happy and strong. But first, Anthony, you must spread the compost and manure we saved all winter and raked into the soil so our vegetables will grow big and beautiful as can be." Do you know what compost and manure are? "We have to move them around," she told her young helpers, "so the soil will stay happy and strong. But first, Anthony, you must spread the compost and manure we saved all winter and rake it into the soil so our vegetables will grow big and beautiful as can be." So Anthony put a clothespin on his nose and did his job. Why did he need a clothespin? Do you know what compost and manure are? I think I'd need more than a clothespin. Children, come, called Strega Nona. It is almost the end of Maggio, May, and there will be a full moon tonight. It is time to plant. Now, Anthony, I want you to make nice straight rows in the soil with the end of the hoe. That's where the seeds will go. Big Anthony, Bambolona scolded. You're not making the rows straight enough. You know Strega Nona likes everything perfect. She added, and so do I. Bambolona is so bossy, Big Anthony thought. Someday I'll show her I can do something perfect too. Does everything have to be perfect? Are you one of those people who gets upset if it's not perfect? Look at the work they're doing, all the different things they're planting. Can you name those fruits and vegetables? That night, when the full moon rose in the sky, Strega Nona quietly crept out to the garden. She looked up at the moon and sang, "Oh, Bella Luna, smile on me, and on the seeds I sow, and let the moonbeams shine from thee to make my garden grow." And now for the ingrediente secreto, secret ingredient. Strega Nona blew 3 kisses to the moon. "Oh," said Big Anthony as he watched her. Suddenly he spied some seeds that had dropped on the ground. "I know. I'll plant my own perfect garden behind the goat shed. I'll show Bambolona." So Big Anthony poked some holes in the ground. He threw in the seeds and covered them with compost and manure. He watered and watered. Do you think Big Anthony's garden will grow? Let's see. Then he sang Strega Nona's song. "Oh, Bella Luna, smile on me, and on the seeds I sow, and let the moonbeams shine from thee to make my garden really grow." He blew 3 kisses to the moon, and just to be sure, he blew 3 more. How many kisses did Anthony blow? As it did every year, Strega Nona's garden grew beautifully. Over here we have Strega Nona's garden. Nice and neat. Then we have Anthony's garden. Kind of everywhere. Will his seeds grow too? Let's see. When you turn the page, Strega Nona's garden, nice neat rows, Anthony's garden, things just kind of growing wherever. Now it is time to harvest the vegetables that Strega Nona will keep over the winter. Look at that. She's had a really good harvest. It wasn't long before the root cellar and the rafters in the kitchen were full. Molto bene. Very good, said Strega Nona to Bambolona and Big Anthony. A job well done. We all deserve a good rest. But Big Anthony didn't have time to rest. He had other work to do. I'll pick all my vegetables. What will I do with them? He said. Something did grow in Anthony's garden. The next morning, when Strega Nona opened her door, she found a big pile of vegetables. Santo cielo! Good heavens! Strega Nona said. Where did these come from? She called Big Anthony and Bambolona. My children, please carry all these vegetables into the kitchen. Grazie. Thank you. Where did those vegetables come from? We know who put them there, don't we? Every morning there were more vegetables outside the door. Soon there was hardly any room to move in the kitchen. Maybe these are from the villagers, Strega Nona thought. Perhaps they had too good of a harvest. Well, I must find out, and soon. If this goes on, I won't have room to sleep in my little bed at night. The next morning, Strega Nona packed a basket of vegetables. I'll take these to the sisters at the convent, and maybe they'll know something. Oh, grazie, Strega Nona, said the Mother Superior. You must have heard our prayers. Our garden didn't do well this season. In fact, no one's garden in the village did. We had too much rain down here, while you had lots of sun on your hill. Do you think they're thankful the mystery vegetables showed up? So Strega Nona went right to the mayor. See, yes, Strega Nona, Senior Mayor said, the harvest was poor this year. Well, I have more than enough to share, Strega Nona said. I will have a harvest feast tomorrow evening at sundown. Tell everyone to come. And Strega Nona practically ran up to her little house. Bambolona, Big Anthony, come quickly, Strega Nona said. We have much work to do. I am going to have a harvest feast for all our friends and neighbors. We shall share our bounty. Does the harvest feast sound familiar to you? Look at that. All that delicious food. Yummy. Hurrah, hurrah for Strega Nona, everyone shouted. Arrivederci, buona notte. Goodbye, good night, Strega Nona and her two helpers called out. Strega Nona looked around her empty kitchen. Well, that took care of that, she said with a smile. But I still wonder where all those vegetables came from. And she climbed into bed. Later that night. The end. Did you enjoy that story? Me too. It made me think about Thanksgiving, which is coming up very soon, and all the wonderful food we enjoy. It also made me think about sharing with others when we have more than enough. What are some ways you can share with others who don't have what they need? Think about it. Let's also take a look in our orange bag to see what you have this month. I've included math worksheets about yummy fruits and vegetables. There's a Venn diagram for you to compare Big Anthony's garden to Strega Nona's garden. There were a lot of differences. Also, there's a harvest puzzle and a really cool craft idea that when completed, it will look like this. And I have a new word for you, cornucopia. That's what our craft is called this month. Well, my friends, it's time for me to go. I want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving. And until next time, keep reading.